Oh, man, hang on.
That's all right. I'm recording it anyway.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Down Under call for the 2nd of March. And this evening we have the lovely Megan on with us, talking about social media and other things. Megan, the floor is yours.
Thanks for having me. It's good to see a few new faces here. I saw names a minute ago, and now I can't see them. So for those I haven't met, I thought I would share a little bit about who I am, because you may not have met me yet. So yeah, my husband isn't here at the moment, but he's going to pop in when he gets home. So we have been with SFM now for almost 3 years. It's gone fast. So what I thought I would actually check before I go too much further is who has been in the SFM for more than 3 months, or it's been their first sort of 90 days. Cool, yeah. So is there anyone who's really, really new, not been in? Yeah? Awesome. Cool. So most of us have been around for a little while, sort of getting through, that first setup stage. 2.5 years. Oh, hi, Susan. How are you? I've met you a few times. When we got started, we had not done anything online at all. So we'd built a number of businesses prior, but we'd never used the internet or social media or anything like that to run those businesses. It was all done face to face. We both really love people, so everything that we've done up till now has involved people. But when it comes to working online and anything technology based, I think it was Fiona who coined the technophobe terminology, but that was definitely myself. I hadn't done anything online. When I used to send email attachments and things like that in our prior businesses, I used to leave all of that up to Brett. So to think about how far we've come in a really short space of time, it's pretty amazing. And it all comes down to the training and the digital skills that we're able to learn here in the SFM. So to give you a bit of a background on what some of those businesses were. So our first business was in direct sales with Tupperware. So I'm sure everyone knows what Tupperware is or has some in the cupboard. We literally got started in a business like that. We did a few other businesses that were in that direct sales space, but we didn't even have email then. They didn't use email. Everything was posted and phone calls, showing my age now. And we certainly didn't have any social media or anything like that. So that was a number of years ago. We also did some network marketing for a little while. So has anyone here done network marketing or still doing network marketing? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So lots of team building, lots of meetings and things like that, lots of networking. And again, we didn't use any social media or any online type thing for that either. So when we got started in SFM, what we were looking for was something that could create a bit more leverage. Because as you could see, everything that we've done on the ground, running it all in person. So we were looking to leverage our time, and we're looking for something that we could create a lifestyle around. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. Looking for something that, you can do in and around perhaps what you're already doing, or to replace what you're doing. And that's kind of, literally what I typed into Google when I went looking for SFM, was looking for something that, we could create a lifestyle around. So what we're doing now, though, is not exactly what we expected. So I think when we first come into SFM, we think we're going to, does anyone relate to the fact that perhaps you think within the next 3 to 6 months, I'm going to quit my job, everything's going to just run smoothly, all the money's going to come in? And does anyone feel like that? Or felt like that? Yep. It doesn't quite go that well. It doesn't quite go that way. There's certainly a big learning curve, and there's a lot to, kind of get set up and building that presence is not as simple as it sounds. And I did just want to check as well, like who here can relate to what I've said so far, as in the fact that you've maybe not done anything online before. So kind of learning everything from scratch. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, I've lost my train of thought, Robbie. Give me a second.
That's all right.
Yeah, so I guess
you're talking about what you're doing now.
Yeah, no, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is we kind of come on with these big ideas about how we're going to, be an affiliate and things are just going to happen. But one thing that we found was we found that learning curve was a bit longer than we expected. And once we got over that, then you need obviously the budget to be able to scale up and or do all that type of thing. So we've also got a family, and Brett also works. So then there's all the other things that you're juggling in and trying to get a business going as well. And I thought I would drop a few truth bombs on you if anyone saw that comment today.
Yep.
Like what we've experienced in the last couple of years. It does have a happy ending, which I will share. But a few truth bombs for you guys. Like one of the things that we realized really quickly is that you need to create a presence for yourself online, because what happens is we start putting our ads up and we're building our own confidence and we're learning, but people actually do go and look you up and see who you are, before they take action. Obviously, not everyone does that, but a lot of people will, I know I certainly did that, will go and look up the person's ad or look up who they are and try and sort of find out a little bit about them before they take action. And so it's really important to look at creating that presence online. And as I said before, like we didn't really do anything online, even personally, that much before coming into this space. So we really had to start from scratch. And yeah, and I don't know if you guys have thought about that, or if you're actively building a presence for yourself. And when I say a presence, I mean like a brand around who you are and what you're about. Feel free to jump in the chat too, and I thought this would be better kind of interactive. So I really want to make sure that you guys, can ask questions and get whatever you're after from spending the time here with me tonight. But one of the things that we got really good at quite quickly was actually that exact thing, is starting to realize that if we don't start letting people know who we are, what we're about, creating content around what we believe in and I'm just bringing the chat up in the side, then, no one's going to really buy into what we do. And then the other thing that we found is that what we found with people in person is exactly the same with what is with people online. So people buy with emotions. They buy from people that they like. They buy from people that they trust. I don't know about you, but if you ever go into a store and someone isn't real nice, you're not really inclined to buy anything there. But if they're really nice and you weren't going to buy anything, then you end up buying something. Does that sound familiar? It's people buy from people at the end of the day. And so we realized that is the same online as it is offline. So we really need to, as marketers, start to let people into our lives a little bit and let people know who we are and what we're about. And so we see that happening a lot, obviously, with the lifestyle team now. They're getting out and about and they're sharing their videos, and they're really starting to develop a presence for what they're doing with their life, and people really starting to buy into that dream and that vision and all of that. So we're not all 20-something and able to travel around the world the way they are, but neither is everybody looking as well. We certainly weren't looking for that type of lifestyle as parents and as obviously having a job and that sort of thing. So it's really important to let people know who you are. And that's something that's what I'm saying when I say about building a presence, actually building a presence around who you are and what you're about, and letting people get to see that. So that was just one thing I wanted to touch on first of all. And out of that, we realized that am I going with this? We realise that there's certain things that we're more passionate about than others. And when you start sharing, you start realising the things that people resonate with as well. So, what you think people are going to like about you isn't necessarily what they end up following you for. So the other thing that we need to learn to do, and it's the same in person and same in personal relationships, is like as in person, is learning to listen. So really learning to listen to what is resonating with your audience, what people are actually responding to, and then giving them more of that. Still being authentic, obviously, but learning what it is that's actually resonating, so you can go down that road and you can really start to, grow that presence. And the only way you're going to do that is by sharing enough. So if you're not consistent and you're not always, putting out content, people aren't really going, well, one, they're not really going to see you, but two, they're not really going to get to know you. So that was just one little truth bomb that I wanted to share with you guys. And the other thing is that when we got started, we went black straight away. So we decided that we would invest 100% in the curriculum because we didn't know anything, like I said before. So we really needed to learn everything from scratch. And luckily we were in a position to do that at the time. But what we found was we then had a smaller marketing budget. So a lot of people go one way or the other. You sort of start off, at a lower level and then use the money that you do have to invest in your marketing. We kind of went the other way around based on that conversation that we had with Mark when we joined. But there's so many ways that you can get a marketing budget. Is there anybody on the call that's kind of in that space where perhaps you don't have as much of a budget as you'd like to be able to put into your marketing? Or is everyone really rich? Yeah. So, or even if you do, like it's always good to have more because you can grow and you can scale the more budget that you have to put in. So what I also wanted to talk about, or another truth bomb for you guys, is that there are so many ways with what you've learned. Even if you've only been in the business for 90 days, there's so many ways that you could get a marketing budget together. Now, we learnt this the hard way, so I thought I would drop a little bit of our story in as we go along tonight. After we were about 18 months into our journey, Brett actually got really sick and won't go into the details of that, but he had to have about 8 to 9 months off work. And so what budget we were creating out of what we were doing with our business went pretty much into living day to day. So we were extremely grateful that we had got started and that we were thinking this way, which is what I'm about to share you now. But we had to get even more creative. And so I thought that would be really something that I could share with you tonight, just value-wise, just to give you some ideas around how you could perhaps use what you learned, to be able to get some more budget in the bank. Because if you've got a family and if you've got a job and you're doing this in your spare time, perhaps that's not, something that you're able to go and get another job or whatever like that. So one thing I would like to know is, out of all the things you've learned so far, have you found one particular area or one particular skill that you just absolutely could do all day and not feel like work? Has anyone found that? Might be, I'll give you some ideas. It might be video, it might be creating, it might be writing blogs, it might be editing videos if it's not the whole video itself. Have you found something that you 100% just love, your jam, it's your genius out of everything that you've learned so far? Just pop it in the chat if you have, just so then I can see that you're following me. Because if you have, then what you can actually do is take that one skill and get really, really good at it. Because if you can, videoing, Trish is saying videoing, if you can get really, really good at one thing, then you can become an expert in that one thing. Now, writing articles, blogs, yeah, awesome. So you can see that out of all the tasks that you have to do, you're likely to find one or two things that you just love doing. And that's a bit of a secret in itself, because if you can love what you do, then it doesn't actually feel like work, especially if you're doing it in and around everything else that you've got to do. If it feels like a chore, then it's not going to be fun. And when you're not having fun, then, you know, it doesn't go well. So one of the things that I had to learn really fast was how I could bring other people in to help me. So what was it that I could do all day, or what was the thing that I was genius at, and what are the things that felt like a drag, or the things that I couldn't, spend all my time doing, and then who could I bring on that could help me. So one of the things I would encourage you to do is to reach out in the community for people who perhaps like something that you don't like. So if you really love to write but you don't love video, or you're happy to shoot the video but you don't like the editing, or you don't know how to do the editing, there is bound to be somebody else in the community who does. And so what I actually did was collaborated with about 3 or 4 other girls in the community who were in the same sort of space. And this just came out of being in communication and being involved in the community and some of the groups. And we just found some things that we were good at. So if you all know Dawn McLaughlin, if you haven't seen her yet, she's not in Australia. So if you're only in the Down Under group, you may not have come across her. But she got really, really good at Facebook. Facebook is, if you need to know where anything is or how something works on Facebook, she is the lady to ask. So Dawn got really good at Facebook. I was getting really good at website creation at the time, which was really weird considering that I'd not done anything online. So just a testament to the training. I started really enjoying that. And then we had a couple of the other girls who were doing various other things, some blogging, and Neen actually is in the community in the Down Under group. She writes really well and loves doing blogging. And we just started doing things for each other to kind of save time. But also what that turned into, and this is what we didn't see, was how we could then go and actually outsource those skills in a consulting type role. So one, you could do things for each other, which would save you time, and therefore you could do more of the money producing activities, but also you could look at consulting. So that's the next thing I was going to say is another truth bomb for you. So truth bomb number 3 is that by the time you get maybe 6 months in, so by the time you get through all the modules and you start applying some of the things that you've learned, you are likely to know about 80 to 90% more than most local business owners. It's pretty amazing. And I think it's just being bold enough to go out there and actually offer to consult for people and actually just offer to help them in their business. So there's networking, things like that. And so, so that's another thing that you can do is actually get out in the community and just talk to people. Just talk about what you know, and you'll find that there'll be certainly ways where you can actually offer assistance. So if somebody doesn't have a website, you could offer to help them with that. Now, if you don't know how to do it all, then this is where being involved in the community and actually, speaking up and collaborating comes into play, because you could get somebody else to help you with that, and they might meet somebody who you can help in that space as well. And it's not that you're going to actually necessarily pay each other, but if you get the client, then you can obviously charge the client, and you're collaborating that way. Well, that's what we did anyway, and that worked really, really well. So consulting and freelancing and things like that is a really, really good way to bring in extra cash. But it can be a bit frightening to get out there and get started if it's something that you've never done before, which is why I dropped that truth bomb on you just now, just to point out that honestly, when you start talking to people and you realize how little they know, and I'm the perfect example with how I started out our story, where I had numerous businesses and had never done anything online. I had no idea. So there's plenty of people out there like that. You've just got to be bold enough to, again, open your mouth and ask. So yeah. And then the other thing that you could look at doing, again, just to look at bringing in more budget, is perhaps once you get this jam happening, that whatever it is that you're really good at, whatever you love, creating a little mini course or a mini ebook, something like that, that you can give to people when you meet them. So this is something that we did. We started to get really good, as I said before, we started to get really good at letting people know who we were about, like really getting good in that social media presence, so people could, buy into who we were and what we were about. And we did that in a number of different ways. So I put a little ebook together which just explained to people how to start that process. So how to get themselves set up online, how to get themselves set up on social media so that they could start to build a presence. It was really short. It was literally like 4 or 5 pages. But whenever I met somebody, I sent them back to grab that ebook, and it was just that free value add at the beginning, at that start of that relationship, where they could get to see that I actually do know what I'm talking about. Don't know everything, but I knew more than they did. And then it just kind of started the process from there, as far as, them contacting you, having a conversation and seeing how you could help them fill in the gaps of whatever it is that they're doing or not doing. So the other thing you can do with that, once you've created it, is you could use it as a lead magnet for your ads. So once you have something like that created that works, that it's resonating with people, you can actually use it at the front of your ads as a way of building your list and actually bringing people into your sort of SFM space as well. So does that make sense? And some people nodding. Cool. So that brings me to my last truth bomb, which is that most people that get started, and I've already pointed this out, but most people that get started in any business don't have everything figured out before they start. And I'm just going to finish up of sort of where we're up to now, like what we're doing, how this kind of ended, and what we're doing now. But when we first got started, we certainly didn't have everything figured out, as you can see. But as we went along, we learned to be flexible, and we learned to do things, to say yes to things that were out of our comfort zone. So just because I didn't know how to do it, I still said yes, because I knew that I could come into the community and I could type a little message and I would find somebody who knew how to do it. Does that make sense? And out of that, I was able to just, be a little bit bolder, be a little bit more, just be a little bit more brave, I guess, and just say yes to things that perhaps I would never have ever said yes to before. And that just comes from building relationships and building a presence in the community, and actually collaborating with other people that you get along with in the community as well. And I know there's a couple of girls on the call tonight who've done just that, and now they have a business. So Trish and Chris, I see you on the call. Perfect example, right? So, I'm pretty sure you guys met in this space, or if you didn't, you certainly grew here. And, that's something that I've seen time and time again, where people have met in the community and they've grown a business together or alongside each other, which has turned into something pretty unique. So where we're at now, as kind of getting to the end, we went from building websites to consulting to we ended up putting a little workshop together around all of this stuff that people were asking about. And selling tickets to that. So then we had people coming in once a month who were, meeting us face to face and all that type of thing. And then out of that, we ended up putting that content, because I was doing that every month and I was repeating myself over and over and over again. I was like, hang on a second. This is actually resonating. People are getting results. We're getting really good feedback. And so what we did was we put that into video format, obviously with a little bit more confidence now. And we've created a course which is basically stepping people through all those things that I've just said to get to the point where, as a local business owner, they're set up online, they're letting people know who they are, they're letting people see behind the business, and then they're also getting their content strategy happening, and they're building their email list, and so on and so forth, to the point where they obviously turning their following into customers. And that's kind of like the journey that we went on, which is now in course format, so that we can actually sell that online and get back around to where we started, which was what we were looking for, which was an online business. And I guess the moral to that story is that you just never know like what your journey is going to look like. When you start, we think it's going to be, I'm going to make all this money in 3-6 months, whatever. And when that doesn't happen, what a lot of people do is quit, which is not something we want to see people do. So it's just getting a little bit creative and getting outside of your comfort zone. And like I said, we kind of got forced to do that. We had to do that because there's no way I was getting a job. No way I was going back and getting a job. So it was like, well, hang on, what can we do to, scale and use the skills that we've learned? So, and that's kind of where it's ended up now. It's like, well, we've ended up back with an online business, back being able to start to create that lifestyle that we were searching for. So it's not the quick journey that some others have had in the community, but I just thought that some of you might get some value out of that in various ways, so that you can, one, like scale your own business, but also look at perhaps other ways that you can use some of the things that you're learning. You never know where it's going to go. It's just about being flexible. So I have not read all these amazing comments down the side here. I've been trying to keep up with them. That's why I've been getting a bit distracted. Sorry. But does anyone want to jump out and ask anything in particular, or want me to expand on anything in particular? I kind of, as I said, tried to weave our story in there a little bit so you could get to know me. But
there's a couple of questions that are the same, and that's how do you figure out what to charge for consulting?
Yes. Actually, I've had some people private message me this question, so I expected this to come up. It's a tricky one, and it comes back to, it is 100% mindset, I have to tell you, because obviously if you're starting out, you feel like you can't charge a lot. But the first thing I would encourage you to do is, one, do a little bit of research and see if you're doing local stuff, like what are other people charging. But also, I've found that when I charged a little bit more, I actually ended up getting more yeses, because people, think about what you're like, right? We get what we pay for. There's that whole mindset out there in the marketplace. If it's cheap, then it's probably cheap. If it's too expensive, then people are like, it's out of reach. So somewhere in the middle, and somewhere where you're comfortable, but just outside your comfort zone is good as well. But again, I would look at hourly rate. Like, what do you want to earn as an hourly rate as well? Like, what's your time worth? And you've just got to play around with it. It's just like marketing. You've got to test it out. We started at a lower rate, and I found when I put my prices up, I actually got more clients, which is really interesting. So if you were after figures, I work on about $190 an hour. If I'm like talking about, like if I was to meet somebody for an hour, that's what my hourly, like my coffee rate is, because you'll find people will go, let's catch up for coffee. And they have all these questions. It's like, that was an expensive coffee, cheap coffee for them, expensive coffee for me. So I actually have a coffee rate now. And yeah, so I don't meet for coffee under that, like as in out for an hour. If I was going to meet for an hour and it was going to be consulting, that would be what I would charge. Obviously, if you're doing something that is like websites and things like that, you just have to weigh it up. It really comes back to what it is that you're charging for. But if it's just straight my time, that's what my going rate is now. I certainly didn't start there though. It's a comfort thing. I don't know who asked that question, Robbie.
There was a couple of them in there. I can't remember who it was.
Did that answer the question enough?
Yeah, that was great, Megan. That was good. It was me that asked.
Yeah,
Murray.
cool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like I've temporarily sort of stepped away from SFM, but only temporarily, and purely because last year was a big year for us, and I had to make a decision as to what I was going to do. And there was a real need in the small community that I'm based in. It's a small community, but a large area to cover. So it's fairly remote. And so there was I knew that there was a need for an online, somebody who supplied online services where you could, give small to medium businesses, that type of presence.
Yep.
I've gone about it in a really different way. Like I decided to partner with a proper digital agency, which it's taken me a year actually to get the infrastructure in place.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a real process. There was no pre-existing sort of agency here, which was great. So we're sort of the first of its kind, but there are still people out there doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So they might be web designing, but they're not doing the marketing, so we can sort of capitalize in a number of areas.
Yeah.
But I've only just soft launched like 2 weeks ago. And so I'm starting to get inquiries about, driving Facebook business pages and things like that. And initially I thought I'd start out with sort of $75 an hour. But even that, for small businesses here on the West Coast is like, what? You're charging that? So I guess I am going to have to test that out. It's certainly there's been a lot of learning involved, and to be away from SFM has been actually quite difficult because I've had to really go outside of the region to find people to talk to. Some within SFM, still. But it was actually bigger than I had initially imagined it would be. Yeah. And I actually, in my haste and being really passionate about what I thought I wanted to do last year, I was actioning things without actually being ready to act, without thinking them through, and then actioning them and then sort of not having all the services in place and having to sort of sit on my hands for a little while and wait until I'd got everything in order, So, yeah, so I've learnt to be slow and steady about my approach now. Awesome. It just makes more sense. Yeah,
and that's what I mean. It's whatever works for you. One of the things that I've found so valuable, in fact, the most valuable thing that I've found is the community. So the SFM community and the relationships that I've formed within it 100% have got us through. Because I said, like, I just know that if I didn't have the answer or I couldn't do something, that there would be somebody that did. And that's just something that I drew on a lot. And that's what I would encourage everybody to do, is to really appreciate those relationships that you build. And they take time, obviously. They're not just going to happen. Because especially if you're all starting around the same time, you're all kind of, trying to get traction together. There's always good to have somebody that's a little bit further ahead, but I've found that all of us were kind of at the same stage, if that makes sense. So we're really, really willing to put in the legwork and the learning. I just see a question down here from Stessa asking if I'm talking about am I talking about SFM affiliate or our own personal business? So we built our own personal marketing business on the side called Mega Media Mentors. So basically that is what I'm talking about. Okay. Having services, and our whole plan is we don't actually teach marketing. We teach what I was saying about building that presence and actually finding your customers and building that following and building all this. After that, if they want to learn marketing, we're absolutely going to be sending them to SFM, DEA. That's where we learn all of that, because I'd be a fool to try and create something that we already have access to that we can get a commission on, right? But for me, I just found that those skill sets that I was learning, that initial setup, there's such a big gap in the market for people, because that's where I kind of came from having businesses that weren't on, that had no social presence whatsoever or no online presence whatsoever. And where do you start? They already have a business, so they're not going to step outside of that and start a whole new one as far as being an SFM affiliate is concerned, but they still need the skill sets to be able to take that business that they have and launch it online, if that makes sense. So for us, we didn't have either. We didn't have a business at that point, and we obviously didn't have the skills. So we built a business out of what we've learnt, helping people do that, with the mind of knowing that list we're building in our personal business would be one that we could refer as a package or as an option over to SFM later. Does that make sense?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Sorry. You're sort of, so when you say, because you're sort of saying there and that, so when you started with SFM,
yeah,
you joined them to be an affiliate, but then you found yourself going in another direction, which is now your business.
Yeah.
And did you realise that whilst being the affiliate? So you sort of realised that, and what was missing?
Yeah, I guess like it all
what was needed?
Yeah. No, I mean sort of needed for a local business. A local business is not the same as an online business, right? So they, the knowledge that I was gaining, and I was able to give that to them so that they could continue to build their business rather than them having to come and learn all the skills themselves. Does that make sense?
Okay, so what you were learning via SFM, you were able to give that information to other businesses?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. Absolutely.
But,
okay. If you've been through the modules, and you obviously you have.
No, I haven't. Sorry, no, I haven't had a lot of time, and I'm focusing on my businesses at the moment.
Okay.
So I haven't been able to devote that time, as an affiliate, which I've decided.
Perfect. So you are like our ideal client, right? Because you have a business and you need to learn these skills, but you don't have the time to learn them and you don't have the time to implement them. And so therefore you need somebody like myself where I was able to fill that gap because I had learned them. So I was able to go in and consult and help them get set up and help them put things in place so that they could actually start to do what it is you wanted.
I'm actually doing a course that is actually enabling me to do all that. Pretty much with marketing, I'm quite natural with marketing and concepts and understanding. So I'm now doing a course that is absolutely perfect for studying at the same time, but I'm setting up the business at the same time. So I'm doing that, but I'm also looking at SFM, not as an affiliate, but as just to gain more knowledge and information to, enable my business online and offline.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I'll keep you in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, no, awesome. And the whole reason that we went down this road, like it was not planned at all, was marketing budget. 100%. We were to increase our marketing budget so that we could scale up our marketing with SFM. But I guess what was I saying? Truth bomb number 4. You don't always have it figured out before you start. It was very fluid. We were very flexible because we weren't really like set on what that would look like, if that makes sense. It was like, whatever comes, we're just going to, help people, and we're going to, help them learn what we know or implement what we know. Yeah. We'll do it for them if that was the case. And that being that fluid and flexible was what actually ended up creating Mega Media as it is today. More of an agency. We've just taken on 2 clients as well. So one of them is a charity and a non-for-profit. So they have just started getting corporate sponsors, and they run their whole business on social media. So everything that they do, they get donations. Everything that they do is all run through social media.
Yeah.
And they are paying us $2,000 a month to manage their social media strategy. That's their content,
Right.
no marketing. There may be a few boosted posts, like just if they've got an event or something, because they do events as well. But mostly it's just to actually put the content out there and build their presence.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, that's not something that I saw 2 years ago. And that's kind of the point. Like, it's just learning to be flexible, because you just do not know
exactly
what that's going to look like at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, that's great.
So,
Thank you.
that's all right. I'm just reading some of the questions. Effective way to build your presence online. Eugene is asking, what's the most effective way that we've found to build our presence online? 100% being consistent and putting out content that people actually want to see and interact with. Definitely Facebook and Instagram are the two things that we focus on the most. We found that setting up a Facebook group was a really, really powerful way as well, because obviously not everyone sees everything on a Facebook page, whereas a Facebook group, people, if they join a group, they generally interact in there. So it's a really easy way to start conversations and really learn about your audience and learn what it is that they need, and therefore more of what you can give them. So we built a Facebook group last year. It did not take very long at all. I was out doing a lot of networking, so I did bring a lot of people in that I met in person, which was really, really great. But we built that to about 400 members within a couple of months. And that's great, because that's people are in there asking questions. You really have a chance to show what you know, like answer questions and show what you know. But other people also are in there adding value now as well. So that's something that we did. And again, that's just more content. We didn't do a lot of blogging, to be honest. That does work. I just found that social media is a little bit more me. Like, I'm, if you haven't noticed, quite chatty, quite social. So I was really able to kind of transfer that into that space quite easily. The other thing that I did, Eugene, is I did some speaking. So I got myself into sort of some networking groups that I was in. I got myself into a position where I was able to actually go and do a few keynote speaking. And that was really awesome, because people got to know me within, you know, it was only me talking. So they got to meet me, understand what we do, and then obviously connect with us online. And that led to more. That was definitely outside of my comfort zone at first, but it's just, I don't know, you just kind of get used to it after a while. That was really powerful. So I guess what my point is moving those people that you meet offline into that online space. That was a really powerful way for us, is getting out there and speaking to people, and being social and being present all the time, consistently, always there. We also have, I should mention, we also have somebody doing our social media content for us now, which is amazing, because it is time consuming. So we have someone creating our content for us, and we just kind of oversee that. So now we just, bringing in the clients and implementing things that way. So I don't know if that answered your question.
It does. Thank you.
The other thing that we did a lot was live video on Facebook, because that's, again, another way of having a conversation. And it gets a lot of reach as well, live video. Showing up. That's probably the best way to answer that question.
Is a lot of your content based around your own personal business, or is it around kind of motivational stuff, or both?
Both. Yeah, both. Yeah. Really, I think the biggest thing, I think I said it at the start, is really knowing, really learning to listen to what resonates. So if you're doing something and you're not getting a result from it, or they're not getting a lot of interaction, but you're doing something else over here and it is doing more of that. But we do some motivational stuff. I'm really big on productivity, because one of the things that I found, especially last year, is that my time just got sucked. You get stuck in that Facebook vortex and you can't get out. I really learned how to be productive and how to set up some systems and things so that I didn't have to spend as much time there. But as far as my following is concerned, I was there all the time, if that makes sense. So I share a lot of stuff about productivity, systemizing things, and also just keeping people in the know with things that change. And that's just from following it myself, and just being, at the forefront of, changes that happen on any particular platform or in any space online, and just sharing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Just
cool.
knowing what the problems are, and providing content around that.
Awesome.
Helena's asking, how would you find black? Was it worth it? Black, is it worth it? Oh my gosh, how many times do I get asked that? Yes, I will say yes. And I say yes because of one of the things that I spoke a lot about tonight, which is the community. So obviously, people that are at that black level are a lot more present in their marketing and a lot more present online, and therefore have a little bit more knowledge as far as, if I was to ask a question there, I would definitely have somebody who would answer it pretty quickly. And I'm pretty confident in the, obviously the answer that I get as well. So definitely for that, but also just, just the events, like going to the events and just, especially the Black Retreat, and just building the relationships in that space. It's definitely another level. But you know what? Like, you've got access to us in the Down Under group. Like, the great thing about SFM is that it doesn't matter what level you're at. Everyone is kind of still equal as a person, if you know what I mean. It's just kind of reaching out and being brave enough to build those relationships with people, regardless of what level they're at, because you don't know what they did before. If it's, how do you say your name? Is it Stessa? Stessa. She has a marketing background, right? So I don't know what level she's at, but she's going to be able to have that knowledge carry over from other things that she's done. So I guess it just depends on what you actually mean when you're asking, is it worth it? Like that, for me, it's all about the community and the relationships. Always has been. That won't change. And obviously you get, there's the commissions are higher or whatever, but the monetary value for me is in the relationships.
Nice.
And you get that at any level. I guess that's my point,
Cool, thanks for that.
Okay.
I'm just on your Instagram too. I love that all your photos line up with each other. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I could do Instagram all day long and nothing else, and video. I'd be happy. Happy. We're getting there. How many clients could you manage at a time? Chris is asking. Awesome question. What do you mean exactly? You might be on mute. I think you're muted.
Well, how many clients can you manage? Like, if you went along and managed their accounts and you build a website and you build a funnel, like how many could you manage at one time? Would it be 2 or 3 or 5 or 6?
Okay, so you're talking building websites or social media?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
So one of the things is not everybody needs everything. So it would depend on what they needed. But one thing that we are implementing now that we do take up, that we have taken on clients, is getting people to do the work for us and being more in that space of just managing the strategy of how all of that looks. Yeah. We've got someone that's actually implementing the content, I've got someone writing blogs, or we'll be implementing that very shortly, so this week, which is exciting. I've also got somebody who can do email marketing if I needed, emails and stuff done. So it just depends on, like how much work there is that you are actually going to do yourself. Or the other thing that we have is somebody that does graphics. So I love Canva, and I will do Canva, like I said, all day if I could, like as in, Canva the app, canva.com. If you haven't got Canva, you need to get it. It's amazing. So that's kind of where we do all our Instagram, sort of the creative side of things. If I could do that all day, I'd love it. But I do have somebody that can do that. Yeah. But it depends on the size of your team and how much of it you're doing yourself at the end of the day. Okay. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, if I was actually doing all of the work, I probably would only have like a handful.
Yeah. Okay.
And then that would be with a system in place to be able to cope with it all. And when I say a system, I guess I'm not being really clear what I mean by that. I mean like planning things out ahead, scheduling things in ahead. So if you've got a system in place like that, you can literally do one client each day, right? Because you can plan it out 2 weeks ahead or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you.
And then with websites, well, yeah, gosh. I gave up doing websites personally because I am a perfectionist, and I would sit there till I could never charge anybody enough for the websites because I would just spend so long trying to get the button right and get the colour right or get the,
Yeah.
Better to outsource that, even though I enjoy it.
Okay. Thanks, Meg.
That's okay. I don't know if there's any other questions there, Robbie, that I missed.
No, I can't see any.
Does anyone else want to jump out and add anything?
Love you guys at Momentum Day.
Who's talking?
Grant.
Oh, Grant. Hey.
How you going?
Good.
Great job, Momentum Day. You speak really well. You speak really well on this as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I felt a little bit all over the place at the start because I was trying to read the comments at the same time and I gave up at the end. It's like, this isn't working. But yeah, no, thank you. I love sharing what I've learned, I suppose. And I think when you focus on that, you don't really think about anything else. You just blurt it out. How are you guys in separate places, by the way? What's going on there? Are you at work?
Yeah, long story short, we've got 2 homes at the moment. Like one where we used to live, one where we live now, and they're in different towns. So the one I'm in at the moment, we're trying to sell. So once a week, which happens to be every Thursday, I just do the lawns and water and all that and just swag on the floor, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a complicated setup, but hopefully it's not going to last too much longer.
Awesome. I only put 2 and 2 together before. I was like, hang on.
That's
Hang on.
You did well.
Awesome. I'm just reading another comment from. Do you want to jump out, Stessa? If you're able to. Is she there?
Yeah, sure. Well, she's unmuted.
I'm just reading it. Oh, you don't have a marketing qualification. You're a natural. I love it. You there? Can you chat? No? Cool. She's just saying that she doesn't have a marketing qualification. She's just learnt it naturally, which is amazing. And yeah, like if you're doing a course to just affirm everything, that's exactly speaking, but you can't hear me. She's speaking, but we can't hear her. What's going on, Robbie?
I don't know. It says she's unmuted, but maybe it's a problem at her end.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. No worries. Well, yeah, I could go on all night, Robbie, you know that.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention I started out as a hairdresser, so you'd be dangerous, guys.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? You know,
Still
mute.
much with the SFM affiliate, even like, do you do much referring back to them, or does that sort of not happen too much for you?
As in with our clients?
Yeah, well, with your clients or anyone, is both actually.
Yeah. You know what? Like at one point we looked at putting like a funnel together so that we could directly funnel our clients back into SFM.
Yep.
But we just found, last year that was where we were at the start of last year, and then Brett got unwell, and it was kind of like to shift our focus to trying to do that away from what we'd already built momentum in was just not the right time. But where we are right now is definitely what we're looking at doing, because we've now got that online program that we have. So we've got links in there that link back to if they want to go on to learn that paid strategies, that they can contact us, or they can go into that funnel, get the videos, that type of thing. So it's just a matter of time before we start to, it's not something you could just send them straight away because they're used to dealing with us, if that makes sense. So it's building that bridge. That's literally where we're at the moment. And I feel like taking the time to build that trust in our audience is something that's going to pay off massively.
Okay, so you didn't consider like running a completely separate thing, like driving just people through the SFM funnel, like just for another income stream, or it's not?
Oh, yeah. No, that's what the whole plan was originally.
Yep.
And like literally this time last year, that's exactly what we were launching into, and that's when we didn't have the budget for it, basically. Yeah. The budget that we had built up went stopped working, so it was just back to square one, but not square one because we were both home and we were able to drive everything that we'd already started. It was just that decision, I guess, at the time. It's like, do we start something new, like shift our focus, or do we scale up what we were already doing? And it's paid off. Like, it's absolutely 100% paid off because I had that time. I was able to do more workshops. I was able to really understand the people a lot more, what they needed, and build that online course. We call it a portal, but a portal for people to come into and actually have access to it without me having to now I don't run workshops at all, so it's all online. We have a Facebook group, private group. So yeah, it paid off, but it was just a gamble at the time. It was like, which way do we go? But now 100% the plan. Yeah, definitely. You just never know what your journey's going to look like. That's the moral of this call. Be flexible. There's a few names here that I don't know. They can't see their faces. How are we doing, Robbie? How are we doing for time? We're out on the hour.
Right on the hour. But we can go overtime if people want.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Although it is 11 p.m. for you. You're a machine.
It's now midnight.
Midnight. Oh, that's right. Started at 11 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are amazing. We're so lucky to have you. I just saw another question down here. AWeather campaign strategy processes. And what are you asking there, hun? I don't know what you were referring to when you asked that. Can you talk? Yeah. Not sure. I'm not sure what she was referring to when she asked that question. So using another computer. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Chris. I'm glad you enjoyed it, hun. Awesome. Good to see you. I think are you guys coming up here soon? I heard.
Specialist clinics of Australia treat these issues with gynae lace.
Oh, someone's got their TV on.
It'll be up in a couple of weeks, Meg.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, Trish is saying. Good. I'm always up for coffee dates. I won't charge you $190 an hour to see me, though, I promise. And that AWeber campaign. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean. Awesome.
We seem to be running out of questions.
I think we are. Everyone's saying they loved it, which is great. But yeah, if you're ever on the Gold Coast, definitely let us know. Actually, Trish, Chris, let us know what dates you're going to be here, because we might be able to organise the next get together, Riz Gold Coast get together when you're here. That would be cool.
Mm.
Okay, we'll let you know. I'll message you. Yeah.
Yeah, do that. Awesome.
No worries. Well, thanks for coming, Megan, and we'll call it a night.
My pleasure. Stessa was just asking what our business is called. I'll pop it in the chat. Mega Media Mentors. Thank you, Robbie, for having me.
No worries. You're welcome anytime.
Fabulous. I'll be back. I've always got something to say.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, and I'll make sure I have my amazing husband next time.
Yeah, it'll be good to have him.
Basketball's done.
He's still on his phone.
Yeah, he's putting children to bed, cooking dinner. It's amazing.
Gee, you've got him under control, don't you?
I am. Awesome. All right,
No
guys.
worries.
Well,
catch you all later.
And yeah, we'll see you in the community.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.